Chapter 4, Music Theory is Not Scary. Music theory, also known as how music works, is actually incredibly simple. It's so simple, in fact, that people don't believe it at first, but soon they discover that it really is. Now, in a nutshell, music is made of three elements: melody, a chord progression, and rhythm. The melody is the most important element in music, and you've been singing melodies since you were a tiny person. So the melody comes from what's called the major scale. It's also called the do-re-mi scale. You've heard that before. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. 7 notes, and then it repeats. The major scale is the foundation from which all of our music is built. And you can readily play a major scale by going to any keyboard and starting on C. How do you find C on the keyboard? C is the white key that is just to the left of the 2 black keys, and that's your first music mantra. Just to the left of the 2 black keys. Say it to yourself. Just to the left of the 2 black keys. Just to the left of the 2 black keys. The melody is a group of notes from this scale that are put into simple patterns. And then these patterns often repeat. So let's cut to a piano and let's see how we find the C and we make the major scale. You can readily play a major scale by going to any keyboard and starting on C. C is the white key that's just to the left of the 2 black keys. And that's music mantra number 1. Say it. Just to the left of the 2 black keys. Just to the left of the 2 black keys. Now the melody is a group of notes from the scale that are put into simple patterns, and those patterns often repeat. So I want you to notice how the piano is laid out. We've got white keys going all the way across, and we've got black keys interspersed. And they are in patterns too. We've got 2 black keys, 3 black keys, 2 black keys, 3 black keys, 2, 3, 2, 3, and so on, all the way across the keyboard. Now, if we go to the note just to the left of the 2 black keys, there's one here, there's one here, one down here, one up here. Go to the one in the middle of the keyboard, just to the left of the 2 black keys, and hit that note. You're playing C, and then you're playing each consecutive note going to the right. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. 7 notes, not including the repeated C, because it repeats there. Do, re, mi, fa, sol. Okay? The do-re-mi scale is ancient, and nobody really knows its origin. There are flutes made out of animal leg bones that are thousands of years old, and some of them play this major scale. Just saying. Page 7, element number 1, the melody, the most important element in music. The melody is a group of notes chosen from the major scale and put into simple patterns. These patterns are put into more patterns, patterns that repeat. Let's look at Frère Jacques, the French song, or Old MacDonald at a Farm. Those simple patterns are put into more patterns, And those patterns are put into even more patterns. So let's look at Frere Jacques. Below is the English version of it, and it goes like this. Pattern. Are you sleeping? And then it repeats. Are you sleeping? Brother John. Then it repeats. Brother John. Morning bells are ringing. Morning bells are ringing. Ding, ding, dong. Ding, ding, dong. You see, simple patterns that are put into more patterns. Now, humans crave patterns. Patterns help us make sense of our world. And when we analyze music, we learn that not only are there melodic patterns, but there are rhythmic patterns as well. Take a look at Old MacDonald below and notice that the words in these two lines could be interchangeable. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. On his farm he had a cow, E-I-E-I-O. So you see, patterns, melodic patterns and rhythmic patterns. Even most symphonies follow a structural pattern. There are typically 4 movements with a short pause between them. There's a fast movement, then a slow movement, then a dance, then another fast movement. These movements even follow structural patterns. I'm telling you folks, music is all about patterns, and music theory is all about recognizing those patterns. Page 8, element number 2, the chord progression, also known as harmony. The chord progression is a pattern of chords that support the melody. The notes in those chords come from the same major scale as the melody. Now, a chord is a group of 3 or more notes from the major scale played together. You can actually make chords with lots of different notes, but we'll get into that later on. 2 notes played together is called an interval. It takes 3 notes or more to make a chord. Now, the chords are then put into patterns themselves. For example, in a typical song, there'd be an intro is a pattern of chords, then a verse is another pattern of chords, then the chorus is yet another pattern of chords, then the verse comes back again, and the chorus comes back again, and you get the idea. Chords are put into patterns that repeat. And music theory, again, is all about recognizing those patterns. There are many examples of voices making the chords that support the melody of a song. If you've ever listened to a choir performing, you've probably heard it. Hymns are a great example of voices singing the melody and the chord progression, and there are literally thousands of them. So again, and this is important, the notes in the chord of the chord progression come from the notes in the scale of the key you're playing in. Later in this course, we'll learn how to add notes that aren't in the scale, but for now, let's stick with the major scale. Page 9, element number 3. The rhythm. Humans are rhythmic by nature. Every living thing moves to a certain rhythm. Think of an elephant and how it lumbers along, or a squirrel or a snake. They all move to a certain rhythm that is built into their DNA. Rhythm in music is also referred to as the beat. And most music employs one of three basic beats: 4 beats to the bar, 3 beats to the bar, and a swing or shuffle beat. For our purposes in this course, we're going to use a simple timeline to indicate the beat we're using. And this is how we'll lay out our music in time. Now below you see a line that's divided into 4 sections there. Those sections are called bars or measures of music. And at the beginning of the line on the left, you see a number. And that number indicates how many beats are in each measure or bar. Laying our music out on a timeline like this will help us understand how short or long our notes need to be. So let's look at the Old MacDonald on the next line down. Notice at the beginning of the line there's a 4. That means there's 4 beats to the bar. And you'll want to get that into your head and so you can feel it. First say to yourself, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we'll do the song to that beat. 1, 2, 3, 4. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. And you see, notice how farm lasts for 2 beats and the O at the end of the line lasts for 3 beats. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. And you see? Now, let's look at a 3 beat, which is below. So here we have a timeline with 3 beats to the bar. And to get that beat into your mind and your body, you want to say to yourself, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then we'll say the words below to a beat of 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Late in the night when the moon is so bright and do you see? That's how music is laid out time-wise, and that's the way we'll look at it for a while.